Hi everyone, welcome to the mecaniquesportive YouTube channel. I'm Nicholas. Today I'm presenting or reintroducing the Skoda Octavia to you, but this time in its diesel version. I had a bit of driving to do. I thought to myself, I know my friends on YouTube like it when I do long-term tests for them, around 1,000 kilometers. Well, here we go again with this car. We're going to drive from Paris all the way down to the Auvergne region, all with this car. A variety of roads, including many highways, as diesel is also of interest. It keeps opening and closing repeatedly because I have the key in my pocket. As soon as I move away a little, I tell myself, okay, it locks like that, I stay safe. The Skoda Octavia, introduced in 1996, has sold an impressive 7 million units to date. It starts at 29,880 euros. And a fully loaded diesel version, the diesel one by the way. It's odd that the fully loaded version is the priciest, costing $43,000. Here I have a rather standard version. There will always be several types of trims and a lot of equipment available. As for the engines, there will be gasoline, diesel of course, the turbocharged stratified injection mild hybrids, and also this mild hybrid diesel version, and Skoda even makes rally sport versions. Yeah, they keep going. So in France, it's a bit more complicated to get them because of the penalties, but in other countries, they exist. Some versions come with a powerful 2-liter turbocharged stratified injection engine, offering 265 horsepower, similar to sportier cars from the group. It comes in sedan and wagon versions. Wagon means the station wagon version with the gigantic trunk. That's a real advantage. 640 liters of trunk space. Even though the sedan version offers, just like ML 600 liters, yeah, not a huge difference. But I have to admit, I still prefer the real-life style of the wagon version, like with a lot of cars. By the way, do you prefer the sedan version or the wagon version? Feel free to let me know in the comments. And by the way, while we're talking about comments, thanks to all who like, comment, and subscribe. A huge thank you to those who get the subscription. There's one of you, honestly, a huge thank you. For those who can do it, it's a big plus for me, and it really shows the support for my work. Max got the subscription at $9.99, but it starts at $0.99 if you want to support the channel. And so I can keep making more and more reviews for you, as usual. Basically, I'm trying to grow little by little. I'm going to try to change things up a bit on the channel and do a little more than just reading, buying equipment, all that stuff. If I can do it, it's thanks to you, and we're going to try new concepts little by little. I'm trying to keep doing it. It's not easy alone, but you give me strength, and thank you again. As for the size, it's 4 meters 70 centimeters long. This car is 1 meter 83 wide, and the advantage is that it's a sedan, so it's 1 meter 47 high, it's not too tall, etc. We're less and less used to seeing this kind of car, and it's a shame because I have to admit it's nice and it's a change from SUVs. The car is fully painted without large plastic trim pieces on the wheel, arches or side skirts. It's a car, the kind we like, made the way they used to, you know, before. Everyone wants to make big things, bigger, bigger, higher. Whereas this, it's more efficient, it's more aerodynamic. The trunks are spacious and the interior feels good. It comes with all the available driving aids. We had to work in a team of 6. For example, controlling the parking with your phone. The phone can also unlock the car. It can become a digital key. At Skoda, we always have simple and clever tricks. Anyway, there you go. J'adore is available in 10 colors. This blue looks really good on it. It's different. Do you need some color in your life? Thank you, Renault, for example, for releasing a yellow car, Fiat, which is bringing back yellow, some more pop colors, like Mazda, which does a lot of red. And here it is. I admit that a lot of them come out in gray, black, and so on. But this blue, honestly, it feels good. It really does. And it's the diesel version. While I'm thinking about it, we've got a little sticker here. The Crit Air too. So the Crit Air categories might disappear since not many people like them. Almost all French people are against the Crit Air categories. The government did this to us. It's a kind of disguised tax, and at the same time, it blocks our access to the city centre. If the Crit Air categories disappear, I have to admit, in my opinion, diesel cars will make a comeback just like that, and that wouldn't be such a bad thing. Right now, those who got good deals on diesel cars, which were dropping in price, would find it to be a good deal. A recent diesel like this is a big advantage as it's incredibly fuel efficient, which we'll see during this test drive. It's quite impressive, in my opinion. We have access to the 1.5-litre turbocharged stratified injection engine. It has 150 HP with direct shift gearbox, 6 gearbox or 116 HP. This can be a minor benefit for those who don't require 150, but it will be largely similar. There are 2 TDI engines, the 150 horsepower version and the limited 116 horsepower one. The 150 horsepower engine is the best compromise. Alright, I won't give you the full rundown again. I'll just quickly take you to rediscover this car, which I already wanted to show you. Next, we'll take it for a road test to evaluate its performance with a focus on fuel consumption. I was telling you that it will be available in Selection, Sportline and Rally Sport versions. It even comes with lowered suspension, etc. You can even get adaptive suspension, dynamic chassis control drive modes. In short, here we have a much simpler version, the Selection. At the front, you still have this hood with the Skoda badge here, the logo, and the chrome grille, which is starting to disappear from a lot of cars. The chrome, but here you still find it, and not just on the grille, for example, on the side as well. We'll see later that there's nothing at all under this hood, so the engine here, 2-liter TDI, and then this new light signature with this kind of comma, big comma here, something very simple, discreet, but recognizable. The full LED headlights, while not the matrix variety in this model, will be an available option. The matrix headlights will be 40% brighter than before, featuring 36 segments. That's 12 more than what was on the previous versions. Then everything is painted, just a small plastic part on the grills here, and the air curtains are pretty well integrated. And I also like this little touch of chrome that contrasts nicely with the blue. In short, it's pretty nice. What do you think about the side of this sedan, 4m70? The first thing that might surprise you is the size of the rims. They're 17 inches, and back in the day, 17 inches was considered big. Even for me, on the first cars I had, they were 13 inches, and when we got 17 inches, it really made the car look good. 17 inches really makes it look like a nice car. Nowadays, production cars have impressive wheel sizes of up to 22 or 23 inches, which seems small compared to the past. The advantage of 17 inches is that you have pretty big sidewalls, which give you more comfort. And on this car, if I'm not mistaken, from 16 up to 19 inches, there are 6 different types of rims. 17 is the right compromise. Another benefit is that with 17, tires are less expensive. Frequent drivers benefit from more comfort and cheaper tires. With diesel, it consumes less, so overall, it's a car that can turn out to be more economical in this configuration. On the side, it's still very simple, just a small line that starts from the light here and goes all the way to the light over there, stretched like this. And here, really very simple, it's blue. On this side, we set the directions and we'll see exactly how much we can do with a full tank. The 3/4 rear for me is always the most beautiful part of a car, or the 3/4 front most of the time. So, station wagon version, that is the estate version, and just let it come out a little more. It's straighter, but actually it gives a bit of a wagon look, kind of like a coupe like this, with the rear window really slanted, and we have the wiper. That's a real plus. Third brake light here on Tenter, on all the rear windows. We even have the curtains. At the back, if you want full LED lights at the rear, you can see that everything is painted except for just this small central part here, which is plastic. But it's honestly basic. The Skoda is labeled with the new lettering, and the Octavia that you find on this side, we have the sequential turn signals. In short, a modern car, and let's not forget Skoda's Simply Clever. The little ice scraper for winter, that's a real bonus. It's always there. We never lose it. In the fuel cap, there you go. Yes, just like on diesels, you can put AdBlue in as well. Well, you can, you'll have to. What? The trunk, which is something we're really interested in with this kind of car. Look at the extremely generous volume of this trunk, 640 litres. Feel free to invite friends, it's quite good here. Honestly, I could sit like this at the edge of the mountain and have a little picnic, maybe a small board here. Not that, but this, on the other hand, is generous. It's great. Life is about taking breaks. We worked hard here, so who's been put down? We have bins on the sides. Look, we can put this on each side. I could put it here. And still, there's even extra space. There are little things to attach on the side. Here, we have this with the tow hook, which sticks out. You can get up to 1,700 litres of cargo space in this car. We have something here to pull and fold down the seats directly from this spot. We have little hooks here, and normally, if I'm not mistaken, you have to finish this hook by hand like this. But to put it away, it's the same. It goes there, then stored flat and packed up. In short, there's ample space. We have the shelf that can be set halfway or all the way at the back. We even have this to store coats, etc. We have hooks and everything else needed to set up nets all over the place. Skoda, I think they're the ones who design trunks almost the best. That's actually good. Let's check out the back space. In the back of this car, there's a large door that opens up, providing great accessibility. The curtains here, that's really the thing I like. For vacations, for kids who go to the back to rest, or for those who can sleep in the car. Me, I can't do it at all. No matter the transport, it's impossible for me to sleep. A door here where it's a bit padded around the armrest, a kind of Alcantara on the side. It's very pleasant. Then we have well-crafted hard plastic with impressive design work throughout. A small tweeter here by the handle, and the handle's here with the little strip. It's nice. And even the door pockets here, well, there's a little carpet inside, and that's a real plus. Hold on, when it comes to the little extras, there are a lot of them in this car, which really makes it a true banger. Actually, look, the rear shelf is here, so I put it away. Look at this. The little ears here. Do you like to sleep? There you go. This here, the nap really, this keeps your head to the side. That's the kind of extra, a real plus. So, Nicholas, 1.80 m. Look, I have headroom, I have knee room, I have space for my feet, I have space for my back. I'm comfortable. I'm really comfortable. The little tricks. There's a place to put a cup here, a place to put a cup here, and a place for this. The little tablet holders, if you want to watch something, or even your smartphone, because actually it works. For smartphones and tablets, I can put the smartphone vertically or horizontally, and it rotates accordingly. It can hold my smartphone, tablets, everything. They are really super smart at Skoda. They make clever, smart, and useful things for everyday life. This side features the air conditioning with a dual zone setup for the front. It also includes 2 USB ports. Tri-zone is available with certain options. It's the little smart compartment again, where I can put my cans and everything, or I can also remove it if I want. So here, with the little things and everything that will get stuck in the carpet, so it doesn't move with all the vibrations, and so it fits perfectly. And there, perfect. We have 2 USB ports. It's to quickly charge the tablets that we'll each put on our side with our little Bluetooth earphones. So we don't disturb the parents who are in front driving. We have it on this side, here. However, it's just a little thing missing at Skoda. It's the little tab to be able to get this, the cover, because honestly, a child definitely won't be able to do it. It's really hard. The tab is really missing here. Well, once it's out, it's good. It's at the same level as the cover on the left and right. It's really spacious, it's generous, that's for sure. If I put myself in night mode, clearly you can really sleep here. Here, double cup holder. Here, more double cup holder. If you learned this little thing, it's really good. And we have the Trapaski mode, so it doesn't open here today. I think that's what you have to lift up. I don't remember. There's something like that. I don't want to break it, but Trapaski, I don't know. Why doesn't it open today? The third seatbelt attaches directly to the bench, while the side ones have plastic. The imitation leather seats with Alcantara are pleasant to touch, not too cold in winter or hot in summer. A real advantage. International Standards Organization FIX mounts here, and in the front for 3 baby seats in this car. We have pockets here in the back, plus another small pocket behind the LED pocket. Under the seats, there is LED lighting for nighttime ambiance. Not air. Anyway, everything you need, especially space. For me, it's the space that matters. The benches, 5 rows back, provide good comfort. They added a small part here that sticks out from the bench, which gives very good support behind the knees. The backrest is slightly firm, which I would have preferred. Honestly, it's fine as is. Fabric, this kind of comfort that's a bit more cocooning, even though it's already really got that cocooning effect. Home sofa softness. But we're not bad, but come to the front. I'm representing the front. Come on, the little tour of the car. So now every time you get to discover the car like this, it gives you a point of view where it's really real and you really see the perspectives, which change as you walk around the car. For me, I like it. I think it's great. I think this ride here in the center of France is pretty cool. Pognetis, a pretty simple fridge with the one that stays. The car is beeping because I left the lights and ignition on. Let me turn off the ignition now. The door really looks like the one in the back, except this time it's padded here. We still have this part, kind of Alcantara Paris, padded. Very, very pleasant to the touch. It's honestly great. The handle has the same style here. Then there are plastic parts at the bottom. It's not a problem. As I mentioned, there's plenty of work and tricks involved here. For instance, they made this part protrude. But the little basket is a real bonus, plus the small elbow rest. The window and mirror controls are here. And to open the trunk remotely, since it's electric, all right, I'll sit here and move back as far as I can. We have manual seats on this version today. Of course, electric ones exist too. The steering wheel looks like this with just these two spokes here and this imitation third spoke. But actually there's this part here and it's pretty nice to be able to hold it during long trips. I really like the Skoda logo. Here the controls are for changing the music, the volume and the voice command. And this one is for changing the menus, by the way. All right, the menus, hold on, I'll start all of this up for you. Large 13-inch screen on this side and almost 12-inch diagonal screen on this side. We've got full digital everywhere, all the cars come standard with it. Now the little button to start the car is here behind the steering wheel. Then we have the paddles here, the windshield wipers on this side and the lights on that side, as well as the turn signals for the driving aids. It's there with the cruise control or the speed limiter or the assisted driving to go faster or slower. Activate, deactivate, we have the lights. With the auto mode, you leave it on auto mode. It works well all the time. You don't need to touch anything on that side. There's even a little carpet inside. With its noise panel, you can put a good amount of storage, which is quite practical. Then we find this kind of Alcantara here everywhere. It's very nice. It's soft. It's good. It's very, very, very cooling style here. The dashboard cover is well padded. It's pleasant. The little thing to put your disc here, big plus, or the parking ticket like this. You don't lose it. It's there, even if it's windy. For us, the door doesn't fly open. There you go, right here. The big central screen, like I was saying, 13 inches diagonally. That's what we know in the up group. Up, up, shortcuts. You can add widgets. We've got all the features. I've already made videos showing how it works. In the Volkswagen group, it's the same thing with Skoda, Cupra, Volkswagen, Audi. It's basically the same for all the brands. This model features touch controls and climate control directly on the screen, replacing physical buttons and dials. We can sync the temperature to my preference, whether I want it warmer or cooler. I prefer to sync it so that when I turn it up on one side, it goes up on both sides. We have this that looks like a very detailed, very pretty kind of leaf, and it's super soft. I love it. Next, we have a few settings here, some car settings. Disable features like the electronic stability program and tire pressure monitoring if desired. However, avoid turning off the start-stop system. That would be stupid, since that's what's going to save you money. The park assist here with the rear view camera warning. The climate control menus are here, so there you go. You have to press. That's why I don't like going into menus. As you saw there, it takes a little bit of time. I enjoy when it's physical every time. Here you can adjust the climate control intensity, set it to auto, and choose the setting you prefer. Where can I get the air to blow on me? I can even tell it like, give me cool air but warm my feet or warm my hands less, since we also have a heated steering wheel. And front and rear air vents, grey ones for ventilation. Here an induction charger, a USB port and the gear shift here, which is nice. So drive, you pull like this, reverse like this, parking is right here, the parking brake and auto so you don't have to brake. In the city, for example, when I stop I can release my brake pedal and it stays braked. Double door, cup holder with space for accessories like phone, tokens, etc. Here you can put your key if you want. The armrest can be lifted and moved forward and it has memory. To be at the very best for long trips, this is really great. And a small compartment right here, the seats look like this. Since I didn't want to show the driver's side, I wanted to come and get comfortable. Here's what it looks like. Honestly, it's very nice, it's very comfortable, you feel well supported and there are good side bolsters around your ribs. And also around the thighs, which should normally provide good support when driving dynamically. That's what it looks like from this side. And you can customize the menus here. So, for example, like this, like this, like this, with just the bare minimum. Or here, I like having the circles with my speed. And there you go, on the top for sun lighting, white LED lighting, more little things for tickets up there, that's the thing. It was my childhood dream to have the sunglasses holder in my car, the Save Our Souls button, the LEDs that are still touch sensitive. You can turn everything on from here and choose what I want when we open the doors or not. Now the button is info. The little rear view mirror, which is nice, electrochromic, it automatically adjusts at night. And the glove compartment right here is quite spacious. There's actually a good amount of space. You can see, you can store your vests in there. And what's this they've put here for me? Oh yes, that's the thing for the caravan hitch. Okay with gas-powered things where I need to tow, but normally I don't need to tow anything. Well, what are we going to do now? We're going to go for a drive. Let's go. We're leaving Paris. We'll do a bit of city driving and all that, then a long trip. Let's go. So here we go in this Skoda where we're going to start with this little Octavia. This trip is pretty simple. Alright, let me get back to my CarPlay here to head home. That's the first step. And then, as I mentioned, I'll take you on the big loop to Auvergne on the way back. So that's why I chose a diesel version, because I thought it would be interesting to do long trips with the diesel to show that diesel still has something to say. Even in the city, micro-hybrid systems and other features on these cars are making them quite interesting. So with diesel, there's still that characteristic diesel engine sound, and the micro-hybrid systems are actually well done. So here, for example, normally, maybe it's because I have the air conditioning and everything on, but it did it just before, it'll probably do it again. Micro-hybridization at 48 volts, as we know, the difference with diesel compared to gasoline is that characteristic engine sound you always hear. A little more. No matter the cars for the city, well, it's just a bit more noticeable. I constantly listen to music, so I barely notice it anymore. And some characteristic vibrations, a bit like diesel, but for me it has all the advantages. The car is still cold, barely showing 50 degrees. Here you should know that for a diesel to be at its best, well, it needs to be warm. The warmer it is, the better it works. I think there's a lady who's in a hurry. No, sir, I have the right of way. Thank you, that's very kind of you. The suspension is very comfortable. The advantage I have today with this car is having 17-inch rims, which are becoming increasingly rare. Now, they're getting bigger and bigger. It brings more comfort because the tire has a thicker sidewall, which helps the suspension work better in the seats. It should be great for long drives once I'm settled in. This little Alcantara touch, this soft feel, in all honesty, it's really nice. I don't have all the cameras. It's not crazy. The option, like most of the cars we usually have, he thinks it's pretty cool. People who frequently choose diesel cars are those who drive a lot and don't necessarily require all the extra features. And often, if you get a diesel too, is to save on fuel, so you might as well save a little bit everywhere. So the car that Skoda is offering us, I think it's a pretty relevant choice not to have all the options. We still have the cruise control here, which is definitely a plus. We can set the speed, so it's pretty good. We still have the adaptive cruise control. For me today, that's almost become essential in a car, especially for a car that's going to make long trips. Like I do, I think the diesel aspect is good. I find it really pleasant. Anyway, now in Paris here, it's 30 kilometers per hour. So let me tell you, you can drive calmly. I still have the paddles behind the wheel. The steering wheel is clearly, when it's an automatic transmission, especially with this kind of car, you just let the gearbox do its thing in drive. I don't have to do anything. We let the pedestrians pass. If he really wants to cross, yeah, be careful, as sometimes they don't want to cross. Now, that's 6 points, 135 euros, not letting a pedestrian cross in the city. Be cautious. The steering is slightly heavier than cars, which surprised me. Usually it's quite special, but why not? It gives a better feeling, a better sense. I think dynamically, why not? That's why they have something to put your hands on. Here in the middle, it's a little different. Usually we have a bar here, we go through. It's us. He looks a lot like Philippe, and I like this gentleman. I don't think it's the artificial intelligence that said to go through there. I've never gone that way, but I'll try. Usually I always go way over there to get to the ring road, so this is different. I like trying something new from time to time, even though in Paris I'm a bit scared with the cameras, speed traps and all the traffic lights. You really have to be careful. I like taking a route that I know. Okay, the engine noise is still pretty noticeable. If the revs go up a bit, I have to admit you can definitely hear it. Not bad, even on the car, which is supposed to be pretty well soundproofed. In the city, the diesel noise is just the diesel noise. I don't think there's much you can do about that. It's true that a gasoline engine can be quieter once you're driving. The vibrations are very minimal, actually almost none at all. Honestly, I don't really see a difference. Is it shutting off now? No, it doesn't want to. Crazy, it's been 9 minutes. I still haven't done 2 kilometers yet. It's still showing me 1 kilometer, so I'm between 1 and 2 now. For now, it's not fun. A speed run. It shifts gears really very smoothly. I don't feel the gear changes. Actually, there's no jerking at all. For example, second gear is super smooth. I absolutely don't feel the gear change, and that's really nice. It's true that with direct shift gearboxes, it's always been top notch, honestly. I'm really looking forward to hitting the road with this car, going to Auvergne, exploring a bit over there, some small villages, and so on. That must have been pretty nice. And above all, driving without any more traffic lights or speed bumps and all that. Here, I arrive at Portes de Versailles, and so, for example, if I slow down, it cuts the engine at around 7 or 8 kilometers per hour to anticipate a stop. Then it starts up again. And since it's a micro hybrid, it's not just a starter, it doesn't jerk and it doesn't use more energy. That's pretty interesting. And now, for example, that's it. It just shut off. I just stopped. I have the hot hold. Here, we're at the top. It's still a really good car. With all these new technologies, it allows you to use less fuel. The light stopping feature is a significant advantage. It eliminates vibration, noise, and pollution. Even at stop signs, the vehicle halts completely. I think it's really the best innovation, especially with these new starters here, which are more than just alternators. There, which used to restart, where you really had to send power and restart strongly, whereas now really it's instant and much, much more pleasant, and that makes the difference. It's true that the old ones weren't great, but it was still a good idea, because a feature like that is good, it seems to me. If I'm not mistaken, back then, since you had to send more injections at the start, and it wasn't assisted by a big electric system, the water feature had to last more than 12 seconds for it to be worthwhile. Otherwise, if it was less, it wasn't really interesting. Afterwards, most of the water features last more than 12 seconds each time. So most of the time it was actually a good thing to have a certain stop. So here I am arriving on the ring road. This allows me to show you the interior. As you can see, we have LEDs nearly everywhere, which is pretty cool. So here in green, for example, you can of course choose winter, summer, white, blue. Basically any color you want. It's pretty nice. Now we're starting to drive. So I basically did about 3 kilometers in Paris. Average at 7.1 liters, I had stopped and reset the consumption to 0. Actually, when the start and stop system started working, so you can get a real idea. Like a daily use of this car, since it must have been stopped for a few days. So that's why it took some time for them to reset. So this list, on average, one for now in stop traffic without exceeding 30 km/h with stops, etc. It took around 15 minutes, but now we're on a smoother road. The good thing is my assistant can read the signs. I clicked and it set itself to 5 years old automatically. That's really the option I recommend to all of you. It's the best option there is. Since I'm going on a very long trip, I'm really happy to have this. I have to admit I chose this car partly because a long trip means diesel plus help with driving. In short, normally this trip should go perfectly smoothly for me, and also in a Skoda. What I love about Skodas is that they're comfortable, they're spacious, they're big, there's a big trunk. In short, they've got everything you need. This clearly makes a difference. Well, from the moment you're driving at a steady speed, I can hardly hear the engine anymore, especially at low speeds. Like now when I'm under half revs, it's actually pretty pleasant. I'm going to do what he's doing there. So well then, we still have the beeps because it saw that there was a car stopping there and we're accelerating again. Where there's torque, it's actually pretty good. The little micro vibration really helps it pick up again. It adds a bit of power and torque to this engine, and the fact that it's a diesel, the advantage of this model is that it's torquey. Debating the revs, we don't need to go looking for them. At high revs, it doesn't exceed 5,000 revolutions per minute as it's a diesel, but it has a very cool side. If we got a speed camera after that, what I want to know is where was the speed camera? Anyway, I can get back to it. My job assists at 50 kilometers per hour, so it's pretty nice to have this kind of car, and the job helps in traffic jams. Anyway, it's just a pleasure, and especially, for example, the ring road is now at 50. I don't have the stress of going over 50 kilometers per hour. She knows she has to go 50 and stays at that speed. However, she doesn't know how to take the destination to ways yet. Taking the exits, and that's it. In a few years, it'll happen. I admit that I'm looking forward to it because, for example, transportation like this to go to work and so on. I think it would be comfortable to be taken around as if we had a driver. Being here, being able to take control from time to time, but in a few years we'll get there. In the United States, I know there are quite a few cars that do that. There are even autonomous taxis, fully autonomous. You get in, you don't have to do anything. I have to admit, I like that. Well, and here on the other hand, the fuel consumption, you saw we just started driving a little bit. I'm already at 6.4 and it will improve the more we drive. So on the highway, maybe it'll go up a little because we're driving fast. But for everyday use, on smooth roads at speeds of 70 to 90 km/h, it normally consumes almost nothing. And I'll do another little test for you, actually in the countryside, to see how much it uses on country roads. In my opinion, it will be very low, because when I tested the gasoline microhybrid version of the Octavia, and 150, I think it's around 4 liters with a gasoline engine, crossing from the Czech Republic to the neighboring country, which I can't recall, but we crossed 2 countries like that, and the fuel consumption was really record-breaking, and I was pleasantly surprised. Well, and here at 50 on a smoother road, besides, as I was saying, it's very quiet, the vibrations are well contained, and the suspension is comfortable. Now, it went up to 90, so I'll do a little stretch at 70 already. It accelerates again without downshifting, there's torque, it picks up easily, it shifts gears, it's still just as smooth. So, but I need to adjust it. Because right now, it knows we're on Highway 6, so it thinks highways are 130, can you calm down? Reading the signs, sometimes you have to be careful, you have to set everything except the sign reading. 90 is nice, so I think that's what slowed me down earlier. We'll overtake. The car accelerates automatically with driving assistance. There are people who do whatever they want, people who are going 70 in the middle of the road. It's nonsense. It's very comfortable, it's quite pleasant. At 90 kilometers per hour, I'm at 1600 revolutions per minute, very low in the revs. I'm in 7th gear. Now it just shifted me into 7th, and now I'm at about 1300 revolutions per minute. Don't forget, we move back to the right. We don't do like the trucks and the people behind, staying on the left and in the middle. It's very pleasant. I have to admit that at 1200 revolutions per minute, you can't hear the engine at all. It's very smooth, it's very slick. I can hear a bit of the rolling noise, but it's still very decent. What's happening around is the same, very decent. The windows only have a small double glazing still with laminated glass. So that's why I still feel pretty good in my cocoon. Even here, when a car goes by, I barely hear it, and that should be nice. The average keeps dropping because the more I drive, the more it goes down. And now I'm already down to 5.6 after just 8 kilometers, so it really makes a difference right away. Starting the moment the car begins to move, the consumption will drop very quickly, and that's really interesting. Long live diesel, and I can't wait to get back to you in a few kilometers to give you the consumption figures for the trip like this, which is going well. And you'll see, well, it's actually really interesting. So here I've decided to only go 90 kilometers per hour. Actually, ever since earlier when I told you the consumption figures, it's only been at 90, because after that we'll go at 110, and all the way to Auvergne, there should normally be 130. I've already gone down to 4.4. I think that's really cool, and it really gives you an idea like that. Some small consumptions. When you're at 90, and I'll still do a big stretch at 110, then also a lot at 130. And we'll do it, so I leave it for the long run, the trip like this, really on the mix, Ile-de-France. More countryside, more weekends where I went for a walk, and it's more highway, more round trips, as if we really left. I'm curious about the actual consumption. Let's find out. There you go. I just got off the highway at 90 for 25 kilometers. I have an average of 3.8, which is pretty good. So I'll keep going like this, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow, because right now I'm going home today. And I'll catch up with you tomorrow for this very long trip, and I'll catch up with you again in a few days. For real, the end of this video, where precisely we'll have covered a lot of miles. Normally, and I hope I won't have to refuel again, but I think that's going to be difficult. So right now, it's showing me 750 kilometers, taking into account the previous user's usage. So we'll see how that goes. P over 32 kilometers, an average of 3.9 liters. That's pretty good. All right, now we're really going to do a long trip. The presentation is happening here for me while it's the highway for you. It's only the second day, and this time we're off to Montusseau. I'm heading out to somewhere around Auvergne, or at least not far from it. There will be some wandering around the area. I only did city driving at 6 liters in the city, 6.2 exactly, really just city driving. So I started again from the beginning, so that was here today. So my other information is about the long-term since refueling. 130 kilometers, 5.3 average since the start. So those are the two long durations since I reset yesterday in Paris. 4.7 average, so we can see that we're doing pretty well. And knowing that the person before me did about 70 kilometers on a full charge before handing it over to me. All right, it's good. I'm on the highway, 130 kilometers, and already some traffic jams starting. Not here, I hope. Anyway, it had to be done, and it's May 8th, so that's good. The average has dropped significantly since the start. It went from running smoothly to 4.5, then to 110, and now it's at 130. I'll give you the information once I've passed the toll, as doing so in traffic would be pointless. But once I've passed the toll, I'll tell you, come on kid, arrived at the toll. I tried to take the toll, just for us. I usually avoid highways and take the side roads instead. 0 to 100 and right in it, 30, 40, 50, 70, 90, 100. Honestly, very efficient, it works well, it accelerates well, not much to say. The 150 horsepower is more than enough. With the diesel's torque, it's perfect in these conditions. So here, I shouldn't get the side wrong, it happens to me sometimes. I'm a bit absent-minded from time to time, but here it's good. The left keeps going straight and we're heading towards Clermont-Ferrand in 71 seconds. Go straight ahead. So what I'm going to do is, here I am, and 4.7 on average over 50 kilometers since I left home. I'm going to reset the trip meter to 0. And now it's really going to be 130 all the way, so I'm setting the cruise control to 130, and now it's not me driving anymore, it's the car. So didn't I do the part at 110 for you? So what I'm going to do is hop over to the right and do the little part at 110 for you. That way, to give you a bit of info about the two steps, consumption, engine speed, and so on. So at 110 kilometers per hour on the highway, I'm at 1600 revolutions per minute, definitely in 7th gear. I'm going to leave the gearbox and drive. The engine is very quiet, almost no wind noise. At 110, it's well soundproofed, a slight rolling noise, but it's very decent. The cars on the side, I can barely hear them, even the big 4.4s and all. Honestly, it's really well soundproofed. Now I'll set it to 130 if I accelerate fully. It accelerates well. I'm already at 130. Even when the car revs up a bit, it's still honestly pretty decent. In terms of noise inside the cabin, I'm just a little bit over 130 on the right speedometer because of course we don't stay on the left. And 130 kilometers per section, 130 kilometers per hour. I'm slightly under 2000 revolutions per minute, likely at 1950 per minute. The engine is really quiet, same thing, so at a steady speed, you hear it a little bit in the city and when you really accelerate hard. And otherwise, I have to admit, it's actually pretty great right now. Going back up, it's still pretty quiet, even the wind noise, so I'm actually quite impressed by the wind noise. It's really good and super aerodynamic. I've tried many SUVs since they're in high demand. But I forgot about this one. Nowadays, on sport utility vehicle, it catches a lot more wind and makes more noise, whereas here, honestly, it's super aerodynamic and it makes almost no noise. That's not bad. That's not bad. Honestly, it's very quiet and it's pleasant to drive. I don't really need to talk that loudly in the car. Even at 130, the engine is super quiet. I just hear the rolling noise, that's all, the sound of the wind. Honestly, it's great, it makes you want to hit the road. The only thing missing is a massage feature on this seat. However, I don't have the necessary buttons or controls for it here. Really, honestly, very good. Well guys, I'm pretty shocked. I've been driving at 130 for 57 kilometers and now I've caught up with some friends on the road, so we'll follow them. He's driving at 130 km/h, consuming exactly 4 liters per 100 kilometers. It's amazing. I still haven't lost a single fuel bar, and since refueling, I've driven 231 kilometers, still haven't lost a bar. That's pretty incredible. And well, since I'm with my friends, I think it's nicer to follow them and hang out together, so I'm going to follow them. We're driving between 120 and 130. But honestly, it's amazing. With 4 liters on the highway, this thing is like a camel, and the more I drive, the more the range increases. When I picked up the car, it showed 720. Now, since refueling, we've already done 232. It's still showing me 890. I think it can easily do 1,000 kilometers like this. I'll keep going, and then I'll give you a little debrief once we arrive at our destination. All right, friends? An average of exactly 4 liters per 100 kilometers over 153 kilometers, that's really good. And now I've decided. So we have about 99 kilometers to go to do them only on small roads from countryside to countryside. Why wouldn't everyone think that way? I believe they do. So I'm going to reset everything right now. So from the start at hop, I'm resetting to 0, and here we go. And it's going to be a long trip then. We have 4.3 liters at 259 miles, refueling with 4.6 liters at 327 miles after passing through many cities. That way, I'll give you a little debrief over there, and I'll do another debrief at the end of the weekend, so in 3 or 4 days. Once I'm back home, I'll know if I used up my full tank. But as you can see, since the full tank, already 327 kilometers, and we've only used 1 bar. Really good, diesel is great. So, in your opinion, what's the fuel consumption on small roads? Knowing that we did between 3.9 liters and 4 liters on the highway at 130 steady non-stop, I think you're going to be disappointed, just like I was. 96 kilometers without exceeding 80 kilometers per hour, 3.9 liters. I was expecting to do 3 liters myself. And actually, no, it's better to take the highway. In fact, you'll save 0.1 liters per 100 kilometers. If you take small country roads, plus there was absolutely no one there. We're really in the middle of nowhere, the back end of the world. I'm in the middle of the fields. We rented a little place like this, and there's absolutely no one here. So actually, taking small roads to save fuel in Bannon was a bad idea with this car. It uses less on the highway. And if you go 110, honestly, that'll be the best plan. So little countryside spot, right? We still save on the toll, but I wasn't expecting that. Honestly, I'll only take the highway from now on. And maybe it would be interesting to say, hey, let's do some kind of eco-challenge. Test the Skoda Octavia diesel to its limits. Repeat the process with the gasoline version, as previously mentioned. On the small country roads, I managed to get values very close to that, I think. We should take both. We already said it with Clemence in a video. I'll try to motivate Clemence and try to catch Skoda and tell them to come. For example, we could do a Paris-Prague with a gasoline Octavia and a diesel Octavia. That would be cool. Skoda, send me an email if you're interested. We're ready. Let's do it. It has to happen. Anyway, that's it. Since the start, the long-term consumption is 4.2, and since refueling, it's 4.4 over 423 kilowatts. We've only lost 2 bars with 740 kilometer range remaining. I still have plenty of range left. So what does this new Skoda Octavia diesel have to offer? Interesting or not interesting? 4.5 liters over 808 kilometers since the start. 4.4 liters over 316 today, and long term, 4.4 liters over 741, and so 4.5 liters over 808 kilometers. It's starting to get really interesting for long trips. Diesel, that's what I always say, for long trips, there's nothing better. I was still quite surprised that on small roads it consumes a bit more than on the highway, so yes indeed on 2-lane roads and when stabilized, etc. I expected it to use almost nothing at 80 or 90. In fact, it uses very little at 110 or 130. That's good news for people who drive a lot, because I think it will be hard to do better than that. The car offers great comfort with its supportive seats, effective air conditioning, well-functioning assisted driving, and climate control. In short, the music is pretty decent inside the cabin, and I still have some left. 290 kilometers displayed, so we would roughly do around 1,100 kilometers, depending on how we drive. Maybe a little less if you do more city driving, because actually in the city we saw that it does consume a bit more. Anyway, I think it will be interesting to do a long-term comparison between the gasoline version and the diesel version. On a long weekend like this, with quite a bit of driving, I enjoyed it. But honestly, the diesel is pleasant, and then there's the fuel consumption. Not having to refuel over 1,000 kilometers is still a real comfort. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you soon for another one. Bye.